We are done with Henry Fayol's principles of management, right? In the last class. Hello, Abhishek.
Yes, ma'am.
We've done all 14.
Sorry, ma'am.
We've done all 14 principles.
Yes.
Completed,
Yes,
right? Because I
yes,
told you, right, this is a very important question, and mostly in your examination you get some question from this, either a short note or 2-3 short notes, or maybe a complete question, or sometimes they give you a scenario based question wherein you have to apply these principles and tell them that these principles should be followed as per the Henry Fayol. Okay.
yes.
Okay. Now, as we have done some, this functions of management. So now we will be, doing some important part of these functions only, which will have some, characteristics, limitations. In some of the cases, you will also go through the process so that if you will get a question, you should be able to apply the answer from this. Okay, now we have done planning, basics of planning, right? When we have done management related questions. So we have done planning also, the meaning and the process. Sorry, the meaning and the definition. Now we'll be doing the characteristics of planning. So kabhi-kabhi kya hota hai na, you get a complete question only on planning. So you should be able to write these steps also, like the characteristics which we'll be discussing. We'll also be discussing about the advantages of planning, as you can see from the screen. Then we will also be covering disadvantages. That sometimes, they give you a question that even planning also have some sort of weakness or disadvantages. So you will have to write these many points in that particular question. Okay? Okay? Yes, no? Vishakha?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Vishakha, are you with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so first we are saying planning is goal oriented. So Vishakha, you tell me, how do you think, or like, what do you think, why it is a goal oriented?
Mm, because it is done for a particular goal which we want to achieve.
Particular?
It is done for particular goal or a particular thing which we want to achieve.
Correct, correct. So as Vishakha has said, like planning is done particularly for a purpose, right? Particularly for an objective. That for everything we need a planning, as said in my previous classes also. Whatever you do, whatever your objective is, whatever your desired goal is, you will have to plan your efforts accordingly, and then you will delegate your you will allocate the work, you will do the structure, you will do the organization. So all these would depend on the particular objective which you want to achieve. For example, if you want to go to college, then how will you go, what time you will leave home, what time you will get up. So you'll do all the planning in the night for tomorrow's objective of going to college. Same way you have the examination, like when you have the exam, accordingly prior to exam, how many days you should complete your syllabus, when should you do your revision, how will you do your revision, what kind of questions you will revise at the time, or like what will be your planning at the time of making notes. So depends on like the objective or the particular uh, particular objective that you want to achieve. Basis that the planning will be implemented or planning will be designed. So that is why we say planning is always goal oriented. Okay? Because it gives you a kind of direction for the efforts and the activities that you will be doing in order to meet that particular goal. Now, why we say, or why we study planning as goal oriented? Because when you do for a particular small activities, which is okay, you may change or you may, shuffle steps. But when you have the planning in organizations, therein you will have to apply resources which are definitely, financially, economically, or you can say, even socially also, cost impactive, right? So it has a cost. So that is why you will have to, uh, design your resources, apply your resources in such a way that you should be in a position to meet your objective with the best utilization of your resources. Okay. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it, Abhishek?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now I have a question here. For example, you have planning to start a small unit of your current organization, which will have a cost of around 4 crores. Okay. Now, in that planning, or in that particular goal, you have taken around 5 crores as a fund because you didn't plan properly. You didn't, measure the kind of resources that you need. So what you have done, you have taken the funds of 5 crores, but the actual usage when you apply the planning, or when you do the calculation, is 4 crore. Now, what is the impact here? हम लोगों को 5 करोड़ ले लिया हमने, जबकि हमारे को वहां पे, जब हम लोगों ने एनालाइज किया, देन उसका वहां पे रिक्वायरमेंट देयर वाज ओनली 4 करोड़. नाउ व्हाट इज द इम्पैक्ट? Yes, Dr. Vishaka. Think about it. Abhishek, you want to answer?
Ma'am, could you please repeat? Actually, I couldn't get it. Hello?
Sorry.
Can you please repeat it, like the question?
My question is, you, for example, there's an hospital which is already running. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And now you want to start or add a small unit, one more function in your hospital. Now for that, you have taken a amount of 5 crores, maybe from the bank or maybe from the reserves of the hospital, right? But when you do actual planning, you got to know that the amount that is required is only 4 crore. Okay, but you have taken 5 crore. Now, what is the impact?
Uh, Impact means in terms of like taking the loan, more loan or something like that.
Yes.
It's we can utilize it in some other way. We can keep the money and utilize in the business purpose. We can utilize it in such a way that repayment of the EMIs and all everything, where it can be get connected, like like they can deduct from that. Like it's a surplus amount, right? So we can keep it, and initial starting of the unit obviously will not give us a profit as like because the EMI will start. So that one per
Do
extra
you
will be a
do
supplement.
you do you actually think that, in the hospital,
Uh-huh.
uh, mm, your surplus can be used for paying the EMIs? Because think from a business perspective. You think the other EMIs must be kept on hold till you have some surplus fund with you?
Mm, No.
So think what I'm trying to ask. I'm saying you have taken 5 crores instead of 4 crores. Now,
Mhm.
what is the impact?
Impact is it's a wrong calculation or wrong analysis, right? Like we're not exactly. But surplus
Right.
is a good thing, right?
So, but how come surplus is a good thing when your resources are idle?
No, suppose 4 crore is the thing and we got a 5 crore. We
Huh?
can utilize that money now. Like
No, but then how? How will you utilize that?
in various other means, like maybe some other like gaps where we are facing challenges, we can put that money in that way or rotate the side money somewhere else. I'm
Okay.
wrong, maybe.
But
I don't
will that have any other additional impact on the cost?
Yeah, it will. It will. But we have to, manage that one. Like calculate and analysis. Need to be done calculations and all, so that how we can, like balance that impact.
Right. But before you utilize that in other aspects,
Mhm.
you will already be running a additional cost uh, of taking that money into your system,
System.
correct? So you will be
Yes.
paying extra interest on that. Secondly, your funds are idle, you have not used it, right?
Mhm.
Third,
Mhm.
even if you will be using it in other aspects or other gaps, but
Mhm.
the actual calculation of your model for that particular unit will be
Mhm.
high,
Okay.
right? So
Mhm.
all these, and then for other gaps and other things, they must be doing their own calculations, and they must be taking the money for those particular gaps from their own resources.
Okay.
So in that case, maybe your fund may not be utilized.
We can return back the surplus.
Okay. But that you will return only when you'll get to know that there's additional money that you have taken for that particular work. And if you're
Mhm.
doing planning properly, then why would you be taking additional money for that particular work?
Yeah.
Right? So that is
Mhm.
why we say planning is goal oriented, wherein we utilize and we analyze before we taking any resource or any money. So we direct all the efforts and all the energy and all the resources towards that particular goal in terms of calculations, in terms of planning, in terms of future course of action. That is why we say planning is goal oriented. So you may get such type of questions in the exam wherein you will see the case study and then you will have to apply these factors or the characteristics. Got it?
Deficit. Deficit is something challenging. Surplus is better, right? Like you
So
get more and you can utilize it
surplus
in
is
some other
better
way.
when you have the profit, sir. Abhishek,
Oh,
think surplus is always better when you have the
profit.
comparison between the cost and the profit,
Okay.
not in terms of taking money or using it either from the resources like reserves or
Mhm.
from the loans or from the banks.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay.
Now, this was a very simple question, but see, you
Mhm.
you do not have the proper directed answer. That is why I've
Mhm.
asked you this particular question, and that's how the kind of scenarios you will be getting in the questions in the paper, so that you will
Mhm.
apply
Logics.
the logics. Okay. Now, second, we
Mhm.
are saying planning is looking ahead. So obviously, planning is related to future course of action, right? So you will have to analyze and predict that in the beginning itself, in order to understand what kind of cost will be there, what kind of direction, what kind of people will be involved, how many resources you'll be allocating in terms of money and in terms of people both, right? So that is why we say planning is looking ahead. Then we say planning is an intellectual process. How?
Lots of activities are involved in this one.
Correct. So you will
The
have to think,
brainstorming sessions and all
right,
everything need to be taken.
brainstorming, judgment,
Judgments,
forecasting,
analytics. Yeah.
imaginations, right?
Yes.
Then you'll have to rethink a lot. Probably you'll have to change your mechanism. You may have to change your approach, right? Even if you have decided something, but then, at the time of planning, you will get to explore some other factor. You may again change your thoughts, right? You may change your process, you may change your planning. So that is why it's an intellectual process. You'll have to think a lot before you take a decision. Okay. Okay. So next is planning involves choice and decision making. How? I want you to think now read it and discuss that with me. Now again, the kind of case study I've given to you, the kind of case given to you, this step will also will also be apply on that particular case. Just think about it and then we'll discuss. Think for 2-3 minutes. Dr. Vishakha,
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to explain this fourth point.
A manager is surrounded by a number of alternatives. He has to pick the best depending upon requirements and resources of the enterprises. So basically, number fourth point, it says that planning involves a number of choices. But if there is no choice, then there is no plan. Only one course of action.
Good. Nice.
So
Okay.
planning needs
Yeah.
to have number of choices.
Right. Because for every output, for every objective, for every goal, you have different paths to, achieve that, right? And of course, you will have a different way out for the resources, correct? So you will have to take the best for the optimum utilization of resources so that you would have a minimum cost and the maximum benefit, correct?
Mm. Yes, ma'am.
Right? So that
And it also needs to meet our requirements.
It definitely depends on the requirement, the timing, the availability of the resources, and then you will pick up the best one. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And why we are saying we will pick up the best one? Because we need to have the optimum utilization of the resources, right? And there is for everything, for every resource, there's a money involved, there's a cost involved. So obviously, you will have to take a decision which would cost you the minimum and gives you the maximum benefit. Okay.
Mm. Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Then we say it's a primary function of management. Abhishek,
Yes, ma'am.
why we say it's a primary function of management, or a, or you can say
It's a
premise?
base or is the foundation of any management thing. Without planning, nothing can work out. Even
Right.
anything needs is a proper planning. To execute that
Absolutely.
planning,
Hmm.
there should be discussions and hurdles and all everything, like how we are going to implement that process or something. Any business, any work, anything,
Hmm.
even like budget, you can say
Correct,
whatever.
correct. Definitely. So, and
So
and
planning is the first and primary basic brick.
it's a fundamental function, definitely. And as we discuss the other functions of management also, like organizing, staffing, directing, controlling. So all those other functions or other rest of the functions depends on planning. So that is why planning is the foundation. Okay, because you're staffing, you're directing, you're controlling, everything depends on the planning, right? So in the organizing also, you create a structure basis the planning that you have, like the basis the objective, basis the desired goal. Staffing, that how many people you will again have the cost planning, which will be again done in the planning function. Then direction part, which that how things will be done, what all things will be done, again depends on the planning, because planning gives you the sense of direction, that how things should be done. And controlling, of course, when you do the comparison, you will do the comparison with the planned tasks, right? Then only you'll get to know that differences are there or not. So all these other part of functions depends on your planning. Okay. Then we say it's a continuous process. So once you are done with your planning, you still keep on, planning. Why? Why we say it's a dynamic business environment, dynamic process, or it is a never-ending process. Why we say that?
Because the scenarios keeps on changing. Though
Absolutely.
so when the scenario keeps on changing, the challenges and all everything, we need to do different plannings as per their
Uh,
uh, current scenario or present condition. So
absolutely.
planning is a continuously process where we have to keep on implementation, how things works and all that.
Yes, and when you do the planning, you do the comparisons also in between. See, gone are the days when we used to do the controlling, or when we used to do the monitoring part at the end of the work. No, nowadays when you work in MNCs, you work in global organizations, therein the measurement aspect is always side by side. Maybe you have the measurement from third parties, or maybe you have a team within the organization who keep on evaluating your work, who keep on checking what you're doing, your processes, your work, your steps. So sometime in the middle itself, or in the beginning itself, you start getting the gaps. You start analyzing the gaps. So once you see that gaps are coming from the beginning itself, you again change your planning. Sometimes there's a need to change the plan. Sometimes there need to change the way out. Probably sometime you do the direction changes, you should do the staffing changes. But when you get to know that even after doing all these changes, your planned tasks are not filled, or not completed, maybe you will have to make changes in your plans. So accordingly the changes will happen. So that is why we say it's a continuous function. You keep on doing it, you keep on analyzing, you keep on comparing the controls with the plan also, plans with the controls also. Okay, so that you get to know that the realistic planning is in organization, or is in effective way, right? So that you can tackle, you can utilize, or you can uh, use effectively, like your resources, your people, everything. Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Then planning is all pervasive. That means it is required at every level of management in every department. Okay. It is not something wherein only the top management will do. Your middle level, your lower level, every level of management would require planning. Okay. Okay. Then we say planning is designed for efficiency. That means, as we have already discussed one scenario of cost, that we always try to utilize the resources in a optimum way or in an adequate way, so that the cost would be minimum and the impact would be, or the output would be maximum, right? For that, definitely not only in terms of money or in terms of resources, but also in terms of time, effort, and money also, you will have to plan your work accordingly so that you can the best of the resources or best utilization of the entire resources that you have for the particular work. ठीक है? Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Flexible भी होना चाहिए हमारा planning. Flexible भी होता है, as we discussed that, as even Abhishek also said, that if we are running or we are doing business in a dynamic environment, scenario keeps on changing, demand keeps on changing, then other factors like competition, government policies, all these factors keeps on changing. So accordingly, you will also have to change your approach or your plans. Okay. So that is why we have to have a flexible planning with us so that you can bring in changes as and when required. ठीक है? अच्छा, जब हम प्लानिंग कर लेंगे या हम प्लान करके चलते हैं, तो उसके क्या क्या बेनिफिट्स होते हैं, क्या एडवांटेजेस होंगे? ऑफ कोर्स, planning facilitates management by objective. Just spend 2 minutes here and then we'll discuss. Just read all these 7 points. Okay. So Abhishek, you read this? Management by
Yes, ma'am.
objectives, facilitate. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what do you understood?
Basically, it depends on planning is depending on the objective of the led organization.
Hmm.
What is the basic aim or objective of the organization on what process or which path they are moving to.
Hmm.
So first, it should be with that objective.
Hmm.
We need to execute, like, for that execution we need to build up a plan for that.
Correct. Very good.
So without any clear objective we cannot plan anything, like
Ah,
aim to see,
yeah.
like it's a job description is something like that, this is the job of a particular plan. So does the way we plan accordingly कि हमें ये ऐसे काम करना है
Correct.
ऐसा.
Correct. So basically, it's a kind of blueprint to manage your steps or to manage your action, kind of guide for us so that these particular steps or these particular actions needs to be taken care, right? So that is why planning facilitates management by objectives. Okay,
दीदी चाय दे दो. हाँ
Dr.
फटाफट बनाओ.
Dr. Vishakha, is that clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then we have planning minimizes uncertainties. As we have already discussed one case wherein we analyze that if the proper planning is in place, then probably in the case of that scenario, 4 crores and 5 crores, 4 crores should have been taken, but we didn't plan, and then we took 5 crore, which leads to uh, extra funds, extra money, and definitely it has incurred extra costs,
Ma'am,
right?
I have a question.
Yeah.
This is regarding something like in general, it's a general
Uh-huh.
question.
Uh-huh.
Suppose I need some funds, right? For example, this is just a basic question I'm asking.
Yeah, yeah.
Suppose I need 5 lakhs funds. Okay, but the chances of predictability of paying the EMI, it's not so 100% because it's a new business which I am starting, right? For example, or we are put just as of like we are setting up.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of 5 lakhs, can I take like 6 lakhs or 7 lakhs and put that amount in that particular bank from where I have taken the amount, and that EMI can be deducted from that? Is it not a benefited way? Like, I'm just asking just for my curiosity. Like,
No, but then if you're taking 6 lakhs instead of 5 lakhs,
yes,
but you would be paying money or you'd be paying interest on that another 1 lakh also, na?
yeah, but the thing is like initially I will be not be having funds, right, to pay the EMI. So like, is it a good idea to do that?
Then why bank will give you this much of money?
If they're paying me 6 lakhs, 5 lakhs, they can pay me 6 lakhs, right? Because I'm showing them that, like, yes, I have a potential of making the business
See, if
stand up. Or
in terms of money or cost, if that sounds okay to you to bear that particular amount of interest for no usage, you may go for it. But I don't think that is a good idea when you know that you don't have the chances of paying that money. Then
Mhm.
obviously probably you may pay 1 or 2 EMIs or 3 EMIs, but
Mhm.
after that again you will be bankrupt.
No, then one thing starts working. I can pay the like extra EMIs. Like for a yearly, suppose 12 EMIs I'm paying, I
Then
pay
the
14 EMIs.
okay. Okay, I got it. Then in such cases, banks do provide, other facilities,
Mhm.
like you can, apply for angel funds. You can apply for, venture capitalist, like venture capital, wherein you can approach companies or like these are the basic companies who can,
Mhm.
who generally help these startups or the organizations to start
Mhm.
their business by giving them the funds for a particular time period, and after that only they ask for the repayment. Okay.
Okay, acha, acha, acha. Okay, we do get like these facilities
Huh.
also from
Huh.
another.
Huh.
Okay,
Right.
okay,
So why
okay.
you
That
want to
is a
go
better
for
option.
for the banks which will
Mhm.
have the the
More rate of interest,
higher cost for
high
you,
rate of.
correct? Right.
So, what is
And
the
risk will
benefit
also
this
be
angel?
high.
what is the benefit that these angel investors or the startups they get? Like the
They
equity shares or
benefit
so?
is like, I mean, they provide you funds as a seed capital to
Mm-hmm.
start your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you
Mm-hmm.
can, I mean, obviously the cost of funds would be lesser in comparison to banks, because in
Mm-hmm.
banks you will have to pay at any cost, but
At
with
any
these
cost, yeah.
seed capital and angel funding,
Mm-hmm.
your finances knows that it's a business. If it
Mm-hmm.
will hit,
Mm-hmm. So he's going to make the profit as well. Hello, hello.
yes, Abhishek, tell me, I can hear you.
I lost you. Like you were saying
I
something.
said,
It
okay,
Mhm.
am I audible to you now?
Yes, 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 ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I said, at the time of contract only, or at the time of investing money into your business, these financiers, these angel brokers, these capitalists, venture capitalists, they all know that when you're running a business, obviously there is a risk of loss also.
Okay.
There's a risk of failure also. They do cover, and then they ask for the repayment after some time. Okay, I mean, they give you enough time to establish your business, and then they ask for the repayment. Okay,
Okay.
but that at the time of initial discussions only,
Mm-hmm.
you can do the blueprint of that, and you can discuss, and then probably they invest money into your business.
Okay. I need to make them convince, right? Like that these are the benefits
That
and future
of
market
course,
is
of course.
as per them.
Because
Okay.
see, why even bank will also not pay you until unless you have some stability or some output in your business. And generally,
Okay.
banks invest or banks pay only in
Mm-hmm.
the running business. But when you start something,
Mm-hmm.
when you have not established yourself in the market, then these
Mm-hmm.
type of finances come and hold your
Mm-hmm.
hand for investing money.
Okay, ma'am. Mm.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Next is planning facilitates coordination. Obviously, when you have everything in plan, you allocate work to different people, different departments. Then, according to your layout, according to your plan, according to your blueprint, you do the coordination whether the work is completed accordingly or not. Okay, and if there are any gaps, then the action course of action can be taken accordingly. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then of course it improves employees' morale also, because when you have everything on paper, which is clear cut design, which is clear cut systematically planned, obviously there would be a proper order to it. Order as in what things to be placed where, what people are, how many people are to be allocated to a particular job, to a particular department. Definitely there would be a discipline in the organization. Definitely uh, it will have a positive or healthy attitude in the environment, in the work environment, which everybody would try to bring in by their coordinated efforts. Obviously it will impact, or it will help the enhance morale and efficiency of the people in the particular unit or particular organization. Okay, because everybody would have a fair and a clear picture of what they're supposed to do and who would be doing what. There would not be any duplicacy. There would not be any, a negative competition, because everything is planned. Everything is mentioned on the piece of paper. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Next, we have planning helps in achieving economies. Now, this is again important. I want you to read and read both fourth and fifth and sixth point together. Spend time on these both these 2 points. Done? Dr. Vishakha,
Ma'am.
are you done? Still you want time?
No, ma'am. I've done.
And Abhishek?
Just 2 minutes, ma'am.
ठीक है, no problem. ठीक है, take 2-3 minutes more. And after this, Dr. Vishakha, I want you to discuss these 5-7, explain fifth and sixth point after 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Hello.
Yes, Vishakha, you're audible.
Mm. Hello, ma'am. Ma'am,
Done, Abhishek?
yes, ma'am, he's done.
ठीक है, Dr. Vishakha, sorry. Now, can you explain this fifth and sixth point?
Yes, ma'am. Planning helps in achieving economies, fifth point. So basically, when we do a proper planning for any particular goal, we know that what we need or what we do not need. So it helps to cut out the wastage at first, and also help us to utilize the resources which is cost effective for us,
Okay.
and also, it also saves us time and help in proper management. So ultimately, it helps in achieving and maintaining the economy of our organization. Hello, hello.
Okay. And next one?
Next one is planning facilitates controlling. So planning gives us a mm, when we plan, we know what we want to achieve. We have predetermined goals, which will help us to compare between the result and what we have already planned. So it helps us in controlling. It provides basis for controlling. As we
Okay.
have already made a certain plan goals,
Hmm. Abhishek, you want to
तो
add?
वो हमें कंपेयर करने में हेल्प करता है.
Very good. Abhishek, you want to add?
No, man, fine. Like, yes.
Okay. So as she correctly said, like we have a proper utilization of resources through planning, so that we can achieve economy. And achieve economy rather, we can have a best utilization of resources with a minimum cost and the maximum output, as we discussed. And of course, it will facilitate controlling, because we have everything, every goal, every standard performance on paper, which will give you the basis for the comparison, so that you can see the actual performance versus the estimated one, and then you can see if there are any sort of gaps. You can fulfill that by controlling the work, by again reevaluating your planning also, so that you can have the maximum output. Okay? And you can have the realistic planning also in place. Next, we say planning provides competitive edge. Of course, when you do the planning, you compare the methods, quality, quantity, output, goals. You can also forecast the future course of action, and then you can see that what what impact it will have, or how you are encashing on your way of work in comparison to your other unit, or maybe in comparison to the other competitors in the market. What best or what extra you have, or what additional you have in your work in comparison to your competitors, which will give you the competitive edge to survive better, or to flourish better in the market, or maybe to capture more market, or maybe you may also say to capture more growth rate in comparison to your competitors. So definitely, you will work on all the parameters like growth rate, market share, the cost, the output, everything, and then you'll get to know that which one is the better way out for your organization, or maybe for your unit in comparison to others. So that is how it will bring a competitive advantage. Okay? And then it will also encourage innovation. Of course, you will have a lot of opportunities where different suggestions, different way of improving performance would come from people in the organization, right? A lot of people will be giving a better way out, better thought process. Of course, it will help in creative thinking, imagination, and it can give you the better way out for growth and prosperity of the organization. Because you will have multiple people to think about it, multiple people who are involved in your planning. Of course, their mindset or their brainstorming sessions will also help you to get you better results. Okay. Acha, now I'll give you 5 minutes. We'll quickly complete the disadvantages, because we have already understood the advantages, and disadvantages are very less, like it's just six, and very self-explanatory also. So I'll give you 7 minutes or maybe 10 minutes. You just go through this, and then we can, quickly discuss all these points together. Okay? Okay, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just quickly read it for 7 minutes. Shall I drag it down?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Is it done? Okay. Dr. Vishaka?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any point which is not clear or you want me to explain? Abhishek? Dr.
The
Vishaka?
timing, the misdirection, the timing one, like it's like why it is said like it's a rigidity or something like that, like
Which point you are talking about?
that the timings. If you just
Time
see
consuming, right?
timing, yeah, but
Third point,
planning
no?
is very much, but like planning is very much necessary. Then like why,
Huh?
and then why it is false sense of security? Then
It's a
says like.
time consuming process when it is not appropriate or when it failed, right? Because see why they're saying it's a time consuming. Sometimes your tasks are not that big, right? But still you
Mhm.
spend a lot of time in analysis, in collection
Uh-huh.
of data, then interpreting. Obviously,
Uh-huh.
it will consume a lot of time, right?
Uh-huh.
Sometime it is not appropriate to spend so much
Uh,
time on particular purpose, right?
but
In that
but
case, it may become a disadvantage.
but to how to say like we to challenge the time, or we can to decrease the time management, we do the planning, right? If you do not do any planning, that the time consumption will be more for anything, which will be like hitting around the bush or something, like
That's
we have no
that's
directions or something like.
That's
Then
true. That's true, Abhishek. That's correct. But what we
Mhm.
are trying to say here as a disadvantage, because sometimes when you spend a lot of time and the output is not as required
Mhm.
or as expected, then of course the kind of time you have already spent, because here you're not spending time of a particular person. Maybe you would have a group of people who are doing brainstorming. You will
Brainstorming
wait for the
situations. Okay.
results. Then you get
Okay.
it,
Okay.
interpreted from other experts. Again, you will
Mhm.
wait for the result. Then you
Mhm.
involve your, management also in order to discuss and come out with the,
Mhm.
appropriate mechanism. Of course, that would also take a lot of time. So the
Mhm.
entire process of doing planning is a time consuming. Correct? So
Mhm.
that is what we are
True.
saying. It sometimes it becomes a disadvantage to spend such a amount of time on a particular goal.
And why it is a false sense of security?
False sense of security, we are saying that sometimes we just okay. Sometimes we just spend so much of time that the actual output, the actual opportunity is lost. Like for example, you're waiting, you're doing the analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay. You're doing the analysis to do some investment in the market. So by the time you come out with the results and then you are ready for the for the market, you're ready for the market spending. By the time your market or the opportunity is lost, or maybe the market changes. As you said, it's a dynamic process, right? And it's a dynamic market. Correct. So by the time, so when we say that planning will always gives you a security, it sometimes becomes a false sense of security.
Okay.
Getting my point? So sometimes we take, for granted in terms of this thought process that planning will always fetch you a good results. But the reality is not so.
Okay.
Okay, so that is why we say, timely actions and timely steps needs to be performed as per the requirement. Otherwise, by the time you start performing the scenarios or the analysis that you have done for the market, it may change and it may not be effective.
We can like put up an example, like see planning and timing is so important, we can say, because I'm not bit like bit sort of like an unplanned person who doesn't plan properly, but I have always seen and heard people saying me that you should have a plan properly, you should have a proper way of flowchart organograms, how things are working, and on then only you should go ahead and all.
And
So
planning
planning
with
is the
time
basic.
also, right, Abhishek? This is what
Yes,
we're saying.
timing.
Planning should be
Yes.
there, but
Mhm.
planning within time also.
Okay.
Okay. And that is why now I think I can answer your other question also. Then why it
Mhm.
becomes time consuming.
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
Why it is a disadvantage as time consuming? Because the amount of time that you're spending on these activities may not fetch
Mm.
you the actual result that you're expecting.
Output goal is zero with
Okay.
efficiency.
Okay. And of course, planning is expensive because you include a lot of expert knowledge. You get your
Mm.
results interpreted or tested from different people or from maybe from different organization. Obviously, that will also cost you good amount of
Mm.
money.
Good amount of work.
Okay.
ठीक है मैम.
Okay. Okay. See, now, since we have discussed the other functions in the last classes, I will just take you through, spend 5 minutes on some important topics that you may get in the in the exam, right? So, as we have discussed, organizing, it's a kind of structure, it's a kind of data wherein you involve people, or allocate work in different departments and for different people. Obviously, that is a kind of organizing steps that you take. Now, sometime you get
Which part?
the steps or the question on the steps of the organizing. Then you will have to answer to these particular steps. Okay. Spend 5 minutes here. Do a self read, and in case you're stuck with any point, we can close it here itself. Okay. I think how many four points are there? Only 4 points. Very important. Okay. Just spend 5-7 minutes and then we'll close it here. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, Abhishek.
Yes, ma'am.
Guys, done? अभिषेक,
जी मैम, जस्ट
चल,
थोड़ा
हो
सा
गया
बचा
ये?
था।
हो गया?
हम्म।
कोई ऐसा स्टेप है इसमें जो क्लियर ना हो? क्योंकि हम लोग बात कर चुके हैं पहले ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के ऊपर, राइट, इन द लास्ट क्लासेस आल्सो। सो स्टेप्स में हम लोग ये बात कर रहे हैं कि पहले हमें पहले वो आइडेंटिफाई करनी पड़ेगी एक्टिविटीज जिनको हमें ऑर्गेनाइज करना है। देन उसको डिपार्टमेंट में बांट देंगे, उसको उसके साथ क्या क्या अथॉरिटी रहेगी वो क्लैरिफाई करेंगे, और फिर अथॉरिटी और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी का कोऑर्डिनेशन बनाएंगे सो दैट देयर शुड बी अ प्रॉपर पैरिटी।
जी मैम।
ठीक है। अच्छा,
जी मैम।
एक ये आप लोग का ना टॉपिक आ
हम्म,
सकता है, डेलीगेशन ऑफ अथॉरिटी।
ठीक है।
ठीक है। अगर
हम्म
हम एलिमेंट्स की बात करें, अथॉरिटी हमें पता है कि पावर, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी
हम्म
हमें पता है कि जो हमें
हम्म
उसको सेंस ऑफ कंप्लीटनेस की बात करते हैं।
हम्म
अकाउंटेबिलिटी का मतलब होता है कि अगर कुछ वो नहीं हुआ पूरा तो
हम्म
वो विल बी
हु
रिस्पॉन्सिबल।
विल बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल,
करेक्ट।
अकाउंटेबिलिटी किसके ऊपर जाएगा?
हाँ
या
हाँ।
ठीक है।
ठीक है।
ठीक है। ठीक है।
अगर जैसे कभी इसके ऊपर शॉर्ट नोट आ जाता है,
हम्म
राइट,
हम्म हम्म।
इसमें स्टेप्स में, तो हाउ विल यू
मैम ये सब
डेलीगेट
के
योर
बुक,
अथॉरिटी?
ये सब पीपीटीज आप मतलब शेयर किए हुए हैं ना उसमें ड्राइव में?
हाँ, मैंने आई थिंक किया हुआ है, बाकी मैं एक बार कर भी दूंगी आज की क्लास के बाद, क्योंकि हमारा
ठीक है।
लास्ट क्लास है आज इसका। उसके बाद हमारा
ओके।
ओबी वाला पार्ट शुरू होगा। आई डोंट नो इफ यू हैव दैट इन योर
ना ना,
सिलेबस।
ऑब्जर्वेशन बिहेवियर क्या है, वो फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर में रहता है
हाँ
कोई
हाँ।
खास?
ठीक है।
ठीक है।
मुझे ना एक बस मोटिवेशन की एक दो थ्योरी आपको लोगों को जरूर बताएं। स्टाफिंग के फंक्शन में भी आपको ये कई बार क्वेश्चन पूछ लेते हैं कि स्टाफिंग का नेचर क्या है, इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट
हम्म,
है, परवेसिव है, कंटिन्यूस रहेगा। ये सारा ऑलमोस्ट जैसे हम लोगों ने प्लानिंग के स्टेप्स पढ़े थे ना, प्लानिंग का वो पढ़ा था।
तो हाँ जी, हाँ जी, हाँ जी, हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
अच्छा, स्टाफिंग में कई बार स्टेप्स आ जाते हैं आपके, कि पहले आप अपनी
अच्छा।
मैन पावर रिक्वायरमेंट्स को फाइनल करोगे, उसके हिसाब से रिक्रूट करोगे, सिलेक्ट करोगे, उनको फिर
हम्म,
ओरिएंटेशन लेक्चर्स दोगे, उनकी ट्रेनिंग कराओगे, एंड फाइनली उनका
जी
रेम्यूनरेशन और
जी।
परफॉर्मेंस वैल्यूएशन होगा।
परफेक्ट।
ठीक है।
This is very practical, ma'am. Like
वेरी
actually,
प्रैक्टिकल, करेक्ट
I
करेक्ट।
really love the class of yours because there's so many things like we discuss and we learn, and this helps me out in my management. It's also like basically in
And
my
and 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 trust me, because I am also doing a job in corporates, so it do
yeah,
help. It do help
it's
when you
absolutely helpful.
when you
Helpful.
analyze people, when you handle team. I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
also handle a team of like 50 people, so therein of
Okay.
course these things helps me out.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Anyways,
Interesting.
in recruitment also, like sometime you get question related to internal recruitment, external recruitment. So internally,
Mm-hmm.
transfer, promotions, re-employment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And from
Yeah, yeah.
external, like I mean, you sometimes do it at factory level, like you put a advertisement on the factory gate. Then you
Mm-hmm.
sometimes do the advertisement in the papers and radio and other stuff
Yes,
like
yes, yes.
on online portals.
Digital, digital
Employment exchange,
marketing
you get
and
people
whatever.
from agencies,
Agencies.
campus
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
placement, educational institutions, recommendations and labor
Yeah.
contract.
Labor
ठीक
contracts.
है। उसके बाद आपका कई बार ये आ जाता है एम्प्लॉयमेंट सिलेक्शन प्रोसेस में। सबसे पहले आप उसका एक प्रीलिमिनरी इंटरव्यू लोगे, जिसमें आप
Mm-hmm.
बेसिक्स चेक करते हो, है ना, रिज्यूमे को।
Mm-hmm.
देन यू डू द एप्लीकेशन ब्लैंक्स, रिटन टेस्ट करवाते हो, फिर इंटरव्यू
Mm-hmm.
कराते हो, मेडिकल टेस्ट लेते हो, और उसके बाद फाइनली एक अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर दे देते हो।
जी जी जी।
ठीक है।
Yeah.
तो एक बार क्वेश्चन आता है आपका ट्रेनिंग ट्रेनिंग ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज का, जिसमें आपको इम्पोर्टेंस अगर बतानी हो ट्रेनिंग की, भाई ऑब्वियसली बहुत बहुत सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी है, लेकिन व्हेन यू
Mm.
स्टार्ट राइटिंग द पॉइंट्स ना, obviously you
Mm.
need to have some content with you in place so that you can read and you
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
write
Because it's
something.
like you need to have the points in your mind, like how things works out and all that.
करेक्ट
Or else
करेक्ट।
like
तो
वो आप लिख ही नहीं पाओगे
नहीं
उसको।
लिख पाओगे। ठीक है ना। अच्छा, एक इसमें ये मेथड ऑफ ट्रेनिंग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ऑन द जॉब, ऑफ द जॉब में।
Okay.
जस्ट अ मोमेंट। हाँ। Okay. So on the job and off the job. On the job training is like, you go to a particular place
Mm-hmm.
and you work
And
and
would
you
they
do
only,
it.
yeah, yeah.
हाँ.
And off the job
Oh,
training is something which I'm doing right now. Like I've
correct.
taken a
You've been
sabbatical
sent
and
to
I've just,
particular centers. Yes.
yeah, 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 yeah,
है ना?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
ठीक है। स्टाफिंग का प्रोसेस हम लोगों ने कर लिया है अभी। हाँ, मोटिवेशन में एक ही थ्योरी है हमारे, मेरे को ये बतानी थी आपको। मैस्लो
Mm-hmm.
हायरार्की थ्योरी, है ना। मैस्लो में जैसे आपकी मैस्लो क्या बोलता है कि हर इंसान को मोटिवेट करने का ना उसका एक खुद का एक लेवल होता है, खुद की एक नीड होती है, ठीक है, उसके बेसिस पे आप उनको मोटिवेट कर सकते हो। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अभी देखो स्टार्टिंग जो है फिजियोलॉजिकल नीड, जिसमें आपका ये रहता है फूड, क्लोथिंग, शेल्टर, है ना। अगर लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल किसी के पास बेसिक्स ही नहीं है, तो आप उसको ये बेसिक्स का पहले अगर उसको जॉब दोगे ना, मतलब आप बेसिक्स के लिए आप उनको मोटिवेशन दोगे करने के लिए काम, वो बहुत अच्छे से करेंगे, राइट, क्योंकि उनके पास ये चीज नहीं है ना। उसके बाद आता है सेफ्टी नीड्स। सेफ्टी नीड्स में आपका जैसे आपके इमोशनल सेफ्टी की बात करें, प्रोटेक्शन की बात करें, जॉब सिक्योरिटी की बात करें, कि आपकी अगर आपकी जॉब सिक्योरिटी की नीड्स, जैसे आपके पास फिजियोलॉजिकल नीड्स आपके पास पूरी है, मतलब आप जो भी आप जिस एम्प्लॉय को हायर करने जा रहे हैं उसके पास ये सब चीजों की कोई इश्यू नहीं है, आप उसे जॉब की सिक्योरिटी चाहिए, राइट। जॉब सिक्योरिटी के लिए फिर आपको आपका जॉब इस तरह से डिजाइन होना चाहिए कि उसकी सेफ्टी नीड्स भी कवर हो। अगर सेफ्टी नीड्स कवर होगी तो फिर उसका matlab he that person would be motivated enough to do that job. Okay, then we have a social needs. The third phase of the life is wherein people have the social needs like the love, affection, belongingness, friendship, social social culture, social circle, right? So after the safety needs, your social needs come. Tab up then you will analyze like at the time of motivation, you will again analyze a person to see whether that person falls in the first, second, or third category. So, for example, if he has these both two categories in the particular job, the third job that you will, I mean, the next job that you will offer to him should also have the social needs covered under this. Maybe that will, just say, for example, you are doing a job at your, you are doing a job in Delhi. The same job, if you get it at your home, right, at your hometown, probably it may not have the higher monetary factors, but you know that you're staying with your family, you're spending time with your friends. In the evening, you can go out with your social groups. Obviously, you will prefer that, right?
Yes.
ठीक है, तो at the time of designing jobs, at the time of offering new jobs or offering new challenges, companies do analyze the social needs to see whether that is fulfilled in your particular job or not, and if not, they will add this and offer that to you. Obviously, you will be motivated enough to take that new job or new challenge or new work. ठीक है, getting, I mean, just think from a technical perspective कि आप किसी को पैसा ज्यादा नहीं दे सकते उस पर्टिकुलर जॉब के लिए, आपने उसको वो होम टाउन के वाले ऑफिस में दे दिया है जॉब, वो बंदा भाग के जाएगा, है ना, है ना, क्योंकि उसकी वो
ये तो है
सेफ्टी
कि अभी
नहीं है।
कोविड के टाइम पे people were happy because they were because we were at our hometown, we can save money, we can meet our friends, we can मतलब बचपन के दोस्त यार, Saturday
हाँ
Sundays we can do that, but once now they are forcing us to come to office like Mumbai or Delhi.
हाँ, करेक्ट
फिर
करेक्ट,
वो एक चैलेंजिंग हो जाता है ना, क्योंकि यहाँ you rent out a place with security
हाँ,
and all of
so
that.
many factors are
So
there, right? And then of course your food habits, your eating
food
habits,
habits, yes.
your preferred preferred food, your
Prefer food, yeah. The
native
best part is when you stay
native.
with your parents and family. That is the biggest
Ah,
thing.
correct. So that is why in the Maslow theory, this stage is also covered to see whether you get
Yeah.
motivated with that or not. Now, once
Yeah.
you have these three, next step
हाँ,
is esteem needs. Esteem needs में जैसे आपका social सर्कल के साथ साथ आपकी आपका जो स्टेटस है उसकी बात आ जाती है, आपका व्हाट डू कॉल पोजीशन की बात आ जाती है, तो वहां पर
जी,
आप उनको रिकॉग्निशन देते हो, आप उनको एक अच्छी पोजीशन दे देते हो, which will of
जी,
course enhance their level, their confidence level, their respect, their competence level. Obviously वो उससे फिर मोटिवेट होके और अच्छा परफॉर्म करते हैं। और लास्ट स्टेज होती है आपकी सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन। सो बेसिकली ये वो स्टेज होती है जहाँ पे लोग वो करता, जो लोग जो एक्चुअल करना चाहते हैं, डिजायर करते थे अपनी लाइफ में, वो उनको वो करने को मिलता है।
जी,
जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल सम टाइम आपने देखा होगा कॉर्पोरेट्स में काम करने के बाद कुछ लोग फिर टीचिंग में चले जाते हैं, क्योंकि वो थ्रू
जी,
आउट टीचिंग करना चाहते थे, पर वो एट द एंड उनको जब उनको लगता है बाकी सारी चीजें पूरा कर ली, पैसा हो गया सफिशिएंट, ये सब,
हाँ,
है ना, उसके बाद जाते हैं ऐसी चीज, क्योंकि वहां उनको पैसा तो कम मिल रहा है, पर अब
नहीं,
उनको
वहां पे
पैसा तो
पैसा भी
मिलने
मिलता
ही
है
है ना।
उसका अपना टाइम के हिसाब से, मतलब कंफर्ट जोन है ना, लाइक यू नीड नॉट नीड टू ट्रैवल
कंफर्ट जोन
एनीवे।
नहीं, डिजायर्ड जोन।
डिजायर, अच्छा।
ठीक है, कंफर्ट जोन नहीं है। अब उनको अगर पैसा आएगा जाएगा भी तो उनको फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा,
हाँ,
है ना, उन्होंने
अच्छा।
कमा लिया।
हाँ, नहीं, जैसे हमारे जो डॉक्टर्स है, जो जितने भी अच्छे डॉक्टर्स है, बेस्ट टीचिंग फैकल्टीज, तो वो लोग प्रैक्टिस करते नहीं है, बिकॉज दे आर अर्निंग लॉट्स फ्रॉम देयर एंड दे हैव देयर ओन कंफर्ट जोन्स, लाइक दे रिकॉग्निशन है, रॉयल्टीज मिल रहे हैं बुक्स लिखने का,
हम्म।
टीचिंग में बहुत
पर
ज्यादा पैसा
वो
जा रहा है।
ना एक्चुअली तब करते हैं जब उनको लगता है कि बाकी सारी चीजें अब उनकी हैम्पर नहीं होंगी।
ओके।
ठीक है ना, इसको बोलते हैं सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन। उसके बाद आपका है, ये आप लोग पढ़ लेना है, हाइजीन फैक्टर्स वगैरह जो है। एक आपकी ना टू फैक्टर थ्योरी होती है जिसमें ये है आपका थ्योरी। हाँ, टू फैक्टर थ्योरी में आपका ये है, एक तो हाइजीन फैक्टर्स, एक बेसिकली हर्जबर्ग की सेटिस्फेक्शन थ्योरी थी। उसने बोला कि जॉब के अंदर आपकी दो तरह के फैक्टर्स होते हैं, हाइजीन फैक्टर्स। हाइजीन
हाँ,
फैक्टर्स के अंदर आपके ये आ जाते हैं, पे, कंपनी पॉलिसीज, और आपका ये बेनिफिट्स क्या मिलेंगे, कंडीशन क्या होगी, वर्किंग कंडीशन, स्टेटस कैसा होगा, इंटरपर्सनल रिलेशंस क्या हैं, ये आपके ये फैक्टर हो गए। और दूसरा आता है मोटिवेशनल फैक्टर्स। इसमें रिकग्निशन कैसा होगा, सेंस ऑफ अचीवमेंट, ग्रोथ एंड प्रमोशनल अपॉर्चुनिटीज। ये सारे जो ये कह रहे ये दो फैक्टर्स हैं जिसके बेसिस पे लोग जो है मोटिवेट होते हैं फॉर परफॉर्मिंग वर्क। ठीक है। एंड देन वी हैव वन मोर थ्योरी, डॉगलास मैकग्रेगर की थ्योरी है, विच इज थ्योरी एक्स एंड थ्योरी वाई। तो थ्योरी एक्स जो बोलती है कि कोई एवरेज जो एम्प्लॉय होते हैं वो काम करना खुद नहीं चाहते, उनसे करवाना पड़ता है, मतलब मोर ऑफ डंडा अप्रोच। ठीक है। लोगों को जॉब सिक्योरिटी नहीं होती, डिसलाइक करते हैं रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज, उनको फॉर्मल डायरेक्शन होना जरूरी है। लेकिन थ्योरी वाई बोलती है कि लोग खुद ही अपने जॉब के लिए सिंसियर होते हैं, खुद ही अपने
हाँ,
एफर्ट्स लगाते हैं काम करने के लिए। ठीक है।
हाँ,
और उनको डंडे की जरूरत नहीं है। तो दो
यही
तरह
तो।
की थ्योरी है, एक्स एंड वाई।
इट्स अ गुड।
हाँ, ये ग्रेगर ने दी थी।
ओके।
अ, ये हो गया आपका कंप्लीट। अच्छा, एक छोटा सा पार्ट अगर आपका कॉन्फ्लिक्ट मैनेजमेंट का बाय बाय द वे आ जाता है, वैसे मेरे ख्याल से कॉन्फ्लिक्ट मैनेजमेंट आपके उसमें होना नहीं चाहिए। ठीक है, अगर नहीं होगा तो मैं इसमें से हटा दूंगी नोट्स में से। कंट्रोलिंग का एक प्रोसेस है, ये इंपॉर्टेंट है कि भाई सबसे पहले आप स्टैंडर्ड स्टैब्लिश करोगे, उसके बेसिस पे आप मेजर करोगे परफॉर्मेंस, देन उसको कंपेयर करोगे, कंपेयर करने के बाद अगर आपको लगता है कोई रीजंस की वजह से डेविएशंस हैं उसको फाइंड आउट करोगे, फिर उसका करेक्टिव एक्शन लोगे, सो दैट आपकी जो कंट्रोलिंग है वो बिल्कुल प्रॉपर रहे। ठीक है। आई थिंक ये बहुत है आप लोगों का, इतना ही काफी हो गया है। ठीक है, बाकी मैंने एक बार ये कम्युनिकेशन और ये देख लूंगी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट वाला, अगर आप लोगों के इसमें नहीं है तो हटा दूंगी, अदरवाइज ये भी पढ़ने वाला होता है, या आप एक बार सेल्फ भी पढ़ लोगे तब भी आपको हो जाएगा आराम से। ठीक है।
मैम, एक क्वेश्चन था।
हाँ,
हम्म, आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में इंटर्नशिप होता है क्या?
आपकी
ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में इंटर्नशिप होता है क्या?
एजेंसी कोटा,
ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में इंटर्नशिप होता है क्या, मतलब
इंटर्नशिप
जहाँ।
नहीं।
ओके।
आपको किस चीज की इंटर्नशिप करनी है?
नहीं, जो ये जो पढ़ रहे हैं तो उसके लिए तो भी हम लोग को थोड़ा हॉस्पिटल पोस्टिंग की जरूरत है ना।
हॉस्पिटल में ही करनी है?
अच्छा, नहीं, मैं तो आई डोंट नो लाइक हाउ द थिंग्स आर गोइंग टू
वेर डू यू
वर्क,
स्टे?
बिकॉज नाउ आई एम एट दिल्ली।
अच्छा, ओके, ओके। एंड विच प्लेस इन दिल्ली?
लाजपत नगर।
हाँ,
लाजपत नगर, लाजपत नगर।
लाजपत नगर, ठीक है। ठीक है, तो मैं आई मीन आई विल चेक फॉर दिस थिंग, अगर हम आपके लिए कुछ अरेंज कर सकते हैं फॉर मैनेजमेंट इंटर्नशिप। ठीक है।
जी, जी।
एंड दैट विल बी लाइक यू वांट वर्क फ्रॉम होम और वर्क फ्रॉम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन?
आई विल फाइंड विद ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, लाइक।
यू आर नॉट वर्किंग राइट नाउ?
नो, नो, आई हैव टेकन अ सबैटिकल ना मैम।
अच्छा,
एक्चुअली
सबैटिकल।
मैंने जब मणिपाल के लिए अप्लाई किया था ना, तो
हम्म।
लाइक आफ्टर 3 years दे टोल्ड मी तो दैट यू कैन गो फॉर योर मैनेजमेंट स्टडीज एंड ऑल। Then after 5 years, they told me like you have to go for your
And
executive
how much?
MBA.
So how you tell me one thing? How much time you can allocate in a day
Two
for
years
this internship?
for this internship.
Hmm.
I have no idea, ma'am. Like basically, like how the things are going to work. Like because we are online, right?
Hmm.
So like the rest of the things, how to practical experience and exposure, how we are going to get it.
So you can do it with startups also. You want it in big organizations only.
I'm fine with like whatever you suggest me, whatever how you guide me.
Okay,
That's one better.
give me, Abhishek, give me some time. Maybe 2-3 days.
Fine,
I'll try to figure out something for you. Okay.
fine, fine, fine,
Hmm.
fine.
Okay. So I think that's all from my side. I will share these notes with your coordinator, and then she will circulate the same to you people.
Sure, sure,
Okay.
ma'am. Sure. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye
Bye.
bye.